Hi, I'm Brett. I'm one of the elders at Salem Hills Church. Our video for today is titled Woes and Weepings, taken from the book of Matthew, chapter 23. At this point of Holy Week, that's just days before Jesus' crucifixion, the religious leaders had conspired together to try to trick and trap Jesus with questions that they arrogantly thought were impossible to answer. But what is impossible for man is possible with God. And since Jesus is God, he answered their questions so perfectly that they dared not ask him questions anymore. But now it's Jesus' turn. So he begins to warn the multitudes and his disciples to beware of the scribes and Pharisees for their hypocrisy, their pride, their spiritual blindness with what is known as the 7 woes. Jesus said, "But woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you shut up the kingdom of heaven against men, for you neither go in yourselves, nor do you allow those who are entering to go in." So instead of leading the people of Israel into heaven, the religious leaders were actually keeping them from entering in by piling on the chains of religious rules and regulations that were not from God. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you are like whitewashed tombs, which indeed appear beautiful outwardly, but inside are full of dead men's bones and all uncleanness. You could wear the most beautiful sacred robes and sashes and outward garments, but inwardly be completely dead to the things of God, which is what Jesus was saying about the religious leaders of his day. Jesus would pronounce 5 more woes to the religious leaders, but what stands out in this account is not just the condemnation of the 7 woes, but the deep, heartfelt weepings of Jesus, for he then cries out, "O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, the one who kills the prophets and stones those who are sent to you, how often I wanted to gather your children together as a hen gathers her chicks under her wings, but you were not willing." You see, Jesus isn't just infuriated with the religious leaders, he's also heartbroken, weeping over the city of Jerusalem, over a people who have continually rejected God's invitation for reconciliation. Jesus desires to gather them, to protect them, to save them, but they were not willing. So what do these woes and weepings of Jesus mean for us today? Well, first, they're a reminder to examine our own hearts. Are we like the scribes and Pharisees, caught up in outward appearances and the dead rules of religion? Jesus sets us free from those religious chains to live a godly life of humility and authenticity. But before we can do that, we must first respond to Jesus' compassionate, loving invitation. So let us open our hearts to embrace Jesus' invitation for salvation and live a life of genuine faith.